need some paper.
Sure.
Coming to you live on the Government Access Channel from Mario Bagnoni Chambers in beautiful downtown Erie. It's the Taxpayers Hotline Show with your hosts, Kaz Kwiatkowski and John Steiner.
Hey, John.
Young man, we haven't heard that music in quite a while.
Yeah, it's been, we've had a series of,
Yeah,
we had an important meeting last week. And
I bet you guys
week
did.
before, I think we had, what, a holiday? Or?
Yeah, I thought today, I didn't think we were going to be on today.
Yeah, we don't get Veterans Day off.
I guess not, only the important people, I guess.
So we should wish all the veterans out there
Absolutely.
a great day.
Absolutely. You know, I'm very appreciative of what you guys have done. I know, Kaz, you're a veteran, and you do a lot for the veterans around town here.
Well, it's the right thing to do for them.
For sure.
But you ready to go?
Yeah, we got a caller on. I think he's been waiting since 2 weeks ago. So we better get him on. Go ahead, caller.
Yes, we're calling about with the city of Erie. Is the city of Erie there to protect free speech of all its citizens? Not hate speech, but free speech.
All governments have to support free speech. We all take the same oath of office, which is to defend, protect, and obey the constitutions of the Commonwealth of PA and the United States of America.
Okay, so what's the city's definition of hate speech?
Well, hate speech that's not the city's definition. Courts have struggled with that.
That would be federal jurisdiction.
Yeah, well, even state jurisdiction, but
If someone wanted to host a demonstration, like a parade or like a political demonstration,
all right.
violent, what's the steps of doing that?
Well, you have to take, well, if you're going to use a street, a park, then you would have to apply for a permit. Just like you do if you're going to have a parade, or you want to use the park for a use other than what it's intended, you would have to get a permit from the city or whoever, we've done that before. And as far as hate speech, if you go back a few years, we've had some groups that tested the definition of free speech, yet they were permitted.
What kind of groups tested the free speech?
Well, you had
Gun rights.
if you're talking about hate speech, some people would say, years ago we had the KKK had a rally some years ago.
They did?
Yeah, and that led to the. That was, I'm trying to remember where they had it. I think it was in front of the courthouse.
Would the city let the KKK back in the city?
You have no right to stop them
Yeah.
if they protest in a peaceful manner. That's what the First Amendment says. Now, if they cause a disturbance or something like that, any municipality can stop it. It's like, were you here when the president came here?
Yes, I was.
I mean, both of them.
Presidents that came to town.
Yeah, do you remember what they did when George Bush was here?
They shut down the whole city.
No, just parts of it. You could not go up State Street within 5 blocks of the stadium.
Yeah.
You could not go in the periphery. So your free speech was basically gone. And that wasn't the city that did that. That was the federal government.
That's the Secret Service.
Right, but I mean, that's so much for free speech.
Yeah, right.
Freedom of assembly of its citizens. Would city council pass a law that would obstruct the free speech of a city resident and the freedom of assembly of a city resident?
Yeah, we could do it, but guess what? It wouldn't hold up.
Yeah, right.
It would be, I mean, it won't hold up the muster.
It could be challenged.
A city can regulate as far as where you can meet within reason, and as long as you peacefully assemble.
KKK back in the town.
Pardon?
Would the city ever let the KKK back in town?
I think if they applied, I couldn't tell you, but I don't think you could stop them, really.
No.
I mean, you'd have to talk to the solicitor, but I think, if you look around the country, they still assemble and they still meet.
Heck, if we charge the biker rally folks, we need to charge the KKK folks too. Because you're probably gonna need 3 times the police presence that you would need at
Yeah.
the biker rally.
I just don't think, as long as they peacefully.
Maybe not. See, we don't know that. See, we don't know what could happen or what could
No,
not
nobody.
happen.
Well, nobody does. I mean,
No one does.
you can't. Just like when the president came here, or we've had other people with other rallies. Nobody in the right mind knows what's going to happen, but you take the precautions, and that's why you issue permits so that everybody knows where you can protest, where you can't. Some years ago, we had the PETA people. They were protesting around City Hall, and a previous administration tried to stop them and say they didn't have a permit to sell stuff. But if you're not selling things, if you're passing out informative literature, that's just the First Amendment. And, that administration was kind of laughed at.
Will be, being.
Oh, but hold on. Some good Samaritan may call the police on someone who's exercising freedom of assembly and freedom of speech.
Right, and as long as you don't block the sidewalk, if you watch when they have when companies go on strike and everything, they're told to keep moving.
Right.
Don't block entrances. That is a violation. It's like you can protest in front of an elected official's house. As long as you keep moving and you don't cause disturbance for the neighborhood, and those are fine lines. But if all you're doing is carrying a sign,
With that being said, being Veterans Day, that's one of the reasons they fought for it.
right?
Hey, caller, we got to get some more callers, and we haven't had them in a while. Thanks for calling in.
All right, bye.
Take care.
That's the true test of a democracy, is putting up with something you find outrageous,
Yeah,
but allowing it.
yeah.
And that's not to say that, anybody would be happy. But yeah, years ago, they had a rally here, and after that, I don't even know if it's legal. They passed an ordinance that said you were not allowed to wear a face mask or anything in public. Trouble with that is what you do on Halloween, right?
Yeah, right.
So I don't know, these things get complicated, and,
Right. I mean, that's, do they even have KKK rallies in urban areas anymore?
I don't know, they're masked, there's many groups that,
Yeah.
but,
More, let's talk about something else for a minute.
well, yeah, cause that's something I'm not gonna worry about till it
Yeah,
happens.
I mean, that's a federal, you know what I mean? We're mandated by federal.
Well, even the state would get involved, cause that'd be,
Yeah. What's going on with the budget these days, Kaz? I see on the news and I read things, and it's getting interesting.
well, there's nothing wrong with it, it's just a realization that, going forward, we got some decisions to make. I mean, there's nothing there that's a surprise, John, okay?
Yeah,
When you're dealing with, you consider the city, consider the county. Okay, the city more so has a very flat assessed value. That's the level we tax on.
yeah,
So because it's not growing, it's not like Mill Creek or Summit where your assessed value is growing
yeah,
and you assess taxes, you get more revenue just by the added growth.
right,
So you don't have to raise taxes as much, or maybe you don't have to raise them at all.
right,
But in the city, we have to. You're looking at that, you're looking at the per capita income is probably lower than it used to be.
oh, for sure.
And so you get all those, you look at what you call our legacy costs, our negotiated, benefits
Right,
and all that, and it's not and here's a good, the city of Erie, we can't charge a room tax. We don't get to keep all of our income tax. It's not a good deal.
I'll tell you guys, we'll talk more about it.
Yeah.
Go ahead, caller.
Hey, I got a question. How much is a parking ticket in downtown Erie?
I think it's $30 presently, 25 or 30.
If I was to overstay my parking, it would be $25 to $30.
I think I can check real quick. I think that's what it is right now.
I mean,
Now, let's say I let it lapse for
maybe a couple of weeks. How much would it go up to?
Well, after, they have it set out that there's a 30-day, a 60-day, and a 90-day window.
Then it go up to like $130?
After 3 months.
Well, see,
After 3 months and how many notifications, and you're subject to either at that point, either be booted or turned over for a collection. But that's 3 months though.
I get it, but it would be $25 to $30 for overstaying parking in downtown Erie. That is really not much of an incentive to go down there to take a risk like that.
You think that it's too low or too high?
That's way too high.
But nobody's paying it though.
What's that?
We got 2.7,
I think the meter, if you get a meter ticket,
Yeah.
it was $10.
and what?
$10. This, I don't know if they've raised it.
Well, we
within the
used to
last-
do that, but,
recently, but
no, we used to have $10 tickets.
that's for the meters,
Yeah, but it didn't work though.
no?
No, I mean,
So they raised it.
well, yeah, because the only way, look at meter, we don't really want to give parking tickets. I know that sounds funny.
So,
We'd
there's
rather
a way
you
for the
feed-
city to raise revenue.
We'd rather you feed, well, first of all, let me explain something. The city gets no money out of the parking meters.
What do they do with all this money then?
That money goes to the parking authority.
Who now gives us
What do they
nothing?
do with it?
They use that to pay off their bond issues on the ramps that they built,
Parking authority have bond issues.
yes, they do.
There's a bunch of people who just go around, playing around with the parking meters. So why would they be borrowing money?
Well, they are in charge of the parking ramps and the
Well, that-
surface
yeah.
parking lots.
The ramps.
And they
the
also
lots.
own the parking meters. The meters don't belong to the city.
And we just upgraded our meters also.
Right. The parking meters are purchased and maintained by them. The surface lots are maintained by them. The parking ramps were built and are maintained by them. And so all we do is we took it out. We don't have to float the bond issues to pay for their parking ramps. And when the city needs a parking ramp, they float the bond issue. They set their rates accordingly.
The aristocracy that's buying up the downtown,
Pardon?
to make it more accommodating, more welcoming, you would think that they could arrange to have no parking signs at all for people who want to.
And you know what happened? I tell you, we had this conversation, let's see, I'm 70, 40 and 50 years ago when I was a young man and I was in college and I worked for them for a while.
And they didn't do it then, and look what happened to the downtown.
Yeah,
and they're
but-
not going to do it again.
but
and the
we're-
downtown's never going to thrive, except for having a handful of.
The biggest problem you have downtown is if you had free parking, the employees would take the parking.
Yeah, you'd have no parking.
You could not monitor. Have you ever watched what happens at the Mill Creek Mall? Do you know where they tell their employees to park?
Where?
Out in the outer perimeter.
Well, you know what? They can park
And if
any
you
place
get,
they want.
and if you get caught, no, I know people that work there.
Yeah.
And they were told that you park on the outskirts of the parking ramp.
You know what?
Parking
Just
lot.
don't tell them what your license number is, or you give them a different one, and it never shows up.
What's that?
If you're going to park at the mall and they're going to keep track of your car, as you say you're an employee up there, you just don't tell them you have a car. You're driving. Tell them you're taking the bus.
Well, the purpose of parking meters is so that, in businesses, by the way, you're gonna find this hard to believe. A businessman actually we used to have businessmen that actually called the parking authority and wanted meters put on front of their stores, especially at Parade Street, up around at Mighty Fine Donuts.
Parking lot down there by the dock that says park and ride.
Yeah, that's available,
Well,
but not many people take it, but
there's any cars in there.
But merchants do not want people parking in front for hours and hours,
Nobody takes the parking.
and they
right?
can't, they can't get people to park in front of their store to do business.
The park and ride were those little red buses that were driving around.
It's not
here.
doing well.
No, but it's federally funded, so
Yeah.
creates jobs, so nobody complains or says anything about it.
Taxpayer Hotline should be called you guys' hotline because you're always talking over people.
Ooh,
One other issue to bring up. I know you guys you don't have no direct control over it, but the size of the buses I see, they're huge, and I've only ever seen one or two, maybe five people at most in any one of these buses at any one time.
You're right, the authority has been told about that. And, you know, there was, suggestions that maybe they should go to a smaller bus.
Yeah, like the size of the lift buses.
But the problem is they get them from the federal government, and the federal government,
Got that. I understand that.
yeah, I mean, that's, once again, that's an authority, and,
I understand that.
Yeah, and I agree with you.
I know you guys have any control over that. But
And-
this is just one of the many reasons why people don't like going downtown.
well, they would go downtown if we had stores.
For the last 60 years, it's been about revitalization. When is it going to come to fruition? Every administration talks about revitalization. When is it going to actually happen?
Yeah, but this time, the money isn't coming from the city, it's coming from private investment.
All those other times.
That was city money and state money. This time, you have EDDC, which is a bunch of business people, Erie Insurance, Gannon.
The EDC is going to make it too expensive for the average person to go down there, and they don't want the average person down there.
Well, you know, I guess it's like, if you buy a building, I'll say this, if you buy a building and you decide you want to put a first-class restaurant in there,
Right.
and everybody else wants a cheap restaurant, it's your money.
I got that. But
You know, so I mean, they're doing the same thing. They're trying to upgrade their area of the city.
it's all about gentrification, and you guys can put lipstick on it and say it's not.
I'm not
but it
saying,
is.
look, I know what it is. In every other town that's redesigned themselves, if you go to Pittsburgh,
The day of the city is over with.
pardon?
The day of the city is over with. It had its time, and now they're going downhill. The cities. I don't mean just Erie.
Well, how about the county's going downhill?
Well,
The
people are
county's
moving out
losing
there
pop-
and
the county's
I
losing-
totally,
out.
I totally disagree with you, caller. I think the city's going up.
The county's losing population now.
We have a lot going on in the city.
See, I'm not talking about Erie County. I'm talking about all the counties across the country. People don't want to be in cities.
That's not true. Do you know Allentown, PA?
How come you have to go all these troubles to this revitalization for the last 60 years and it hasn't worked?
Because we did it the wrong way. If you go to Allentown right now,
Right.
Allentown is building an 8-story building. They've already, from what I've understood, it's almost full already. It's market rate housing.
If you go to other cities and you can't get an apartment.
No.
You know how much rent costs in some other cities? Because the city's not the problem. It's,
$2,000 in rent.
yeah.
Yeah, but if you, you know, it depends, like, if you got a good job and, you know, you work at Erie Insurance or the hospital, you're a professor again, and maybe you'd rather live downtown.
So if I work at one of those three places, then I'm welcome.
No, they didn't say you're not welcome. Look,
I get it.
So
I
what-
get the
so-
nuance. I get the subtlety.
well, let me ask you a question. What do you want to see happen to the city?
Well, I see them stop spending all this money and start one.
Yeah, but we're not spending it. It's private investment right now.
That's not a dime of your money.
It's-
And not only that, it's not even gonna be nonprofit. It's
It
gonna
comes from the
be
state, whether
taxable.
it comes from the city, whether it comes from private foundations, it's not working. It hasn't worked before.
They just started. They
It comes
ju-
from a private foundation. What makes that so magical? It's going to work this time.
you understand that some private people bought some businesses,
Yeah, I get that.
and the businessman that sold it to them is done. He wants to retire.
It's going to be there for reserve.
He wants to retire. He retired. He took his money. That's his privilege. The new people don't share in the vision he had. They don't want a bar in there. They decided they want to do something different.
All right, we gotta move on, caller, but you wanna make one last statement?
Yeah, about that the motorcycle event you guys used to have. That was a big draw for.
Yeah, and it cost us a lot of money too.
Well, yeah, it's cost money to make money.
Well, no, we didn't make money.
But you didn't want those type of people down there.
No, we didn't say that. We said
No, but-
they had to pay, they had to be fair about it and pay. You know, everybody else that rents the city,
Well, ahead of time they had to pay all that money. No one asked them for it
look,
until it was over with.
the point was they didn't pay, and we have police costs,
Yes,
and
over with.
they didn't get a free ride out in the county last year.
But they weren't asked to pay the city.
Yes, they were, and they negotiated it out of it.
So you try on bullshit.
I'm telling you because I was there, okay?
I know what's going on.
Well, so do I, and you're not telling the whole truth.
All right, caller, thanks for calling in.
That's after the fact.
Okay, have a good day.
Everybody wants the city to give away things.
They're fiery today, Cass.
Well,
They're
I'm
telling
not
us
gonna
to
give
shut
away.
up.
You know, to the people that pay taxes in the city,
Yeah,
we, you don't get a free ride.
Oh, I mean, I don't know what the previous mayor and Ralph Montillo had going on.
Well, they had a deal, that's apparent.
Yeah, I mean, it was obvious that it was
But
okay.
even when they paid, they weren't paying enough.
No.
Look what the county did. They came in, they had to make some contributions.
Yeah, right. Well, when we're on the shore, when all the hotels fill up,
But they weren't in the city.
no. And the ones that are downtown there, those are part of the county.
If it was such a good deal, why does all the people that own the hotels on the 90,
Yeah.
why don't they give the city some money? Because you're making,
Listen, those hotels are filled whether we have the Roar on the Shore.
And what did they say about it? They said the same thing, right?
What?
Whether it comes back or not, doesn't
Yeah,
matter to
they
us.
don't care.
No.
They're filled up anyways.
And as for
I
the
would
park-
like for it to come back though.
As for the parking tickets, though, I mean, if you want to wait 3 months,
yeah.
if you make parking tickets $5, nobody thinks that.
I don't understand why people are against change, or not even change, against improvement.
Well, you look at
We're dying.
I
take that back. We're dead.
look at Pittsburgh. how
We
they-
have the lowest income medium in this area in the state, and people are putting their money where their mouth is to improve our area, to try to bring back some tax revenue, and people are crying.
Well, we get a little bit. We do have once in a while. We've been getting some federal money in state, but by and large, this
Peanuts.
this latest investment, unlike the past,
Yeah.
is being fueled by private
Now,
investment.
you have to do it the proper way. Some of the communication level coming out of that issue, coming from them, hasn't been the greatest.
No, but
The premise is they want to help, and they're not trying to kick people to the street.
no, but you have to clean up the downtown though.
The downtown, any downtown area is supposed to be with people with disposable income. I keep saying that. You can't, whenever these built, even back when the Richford Arms and the Boston store,
Yeah.
they weren't built with the idea of the premise of we need to have Section 8 people that, are struggling, which there's nothing wrong with that, but you can't have them in your urban core. We need to look good. If we're going to attract new businesses, we need to look good on a sheet of paper. When a business looks at our demographic study and says, oh, okay, they got this much income down there, they got this many people, they got these jobs, they got this, okay, yeah, maybe we'll put a business other than Family Dollar. I mean, it's not rocket science. And for people to say, I hear the word gentrification on the Lower East Side.
Yeah.
People can't give their houses. They've been trying to literally give their houses away, and nobody will take them. Go ahead, caller. Go ahead, caller.
Talk about fire. Oh,
A couple of weeks ago, there's a stop sign obscured. It's on Aqua and West 6th Street.
Aqua. I rode by there, caller. Are you talking north and south or east and west?
East and west.
I didn't see it, buddy. I might have to go down because that right after I left the show, I remember you called and you couldn't remember the street. So I'm like, well, I'm heading out this way.
is that the one with the car lot, or?
No, was 6 minutes. He called a couple weeks ago.
Because you were supposed to get back. You were going to take it right by, but
Yeah, I took it right by that. I didn't see it. 6th and Cockle. We'll double check, but I rode across West 6th Street all the way out to where West 3 Plaza is. I didn't notice it. I mean, maybe I missed something.
You have to be heading east to see it.
Oh, okay.
heading east on
If you're heading west, you can't see it. If you're heading east.
east on 6th, right?
Yeah, east on 6th.
Okay.
It's in Aqua. Yeah, there's a bunch of suckers on a big tree, and you can't see the stop sign until you're about 20 yards from it.
Yeah, because I remember your call, and I'm heading out that way. I'm like, the caller.
Well, what I'm gonna do, I'll go upstairs. I gotta go upstairs anyway. I'll turn it into them and tell them to take a look there anyway. We'll take a ride.
Yeah,
We'll just turn it into engineering because
I'll come by. I'll ride by there today because when I leave here, I always head out that way. So.
Yeah.
they will cut. I had some trees cut up on East 38th when it interfered with the new signage too. So they will do it.
Yeah.
We'll get a hold of Parks and I'll get a hold of engineering.
Yeah. Also, yeah, I called, when I made that call too. I don't know if anybody else heard me about the street cleaners down by the Coke plant.
Oh, yeah, you were telling me about that.
cleaners.
That was, you remember what he said? They were cleaning up all this soot, so it didn't
Yeah.
show up on the,
Yeah, right. Oh, the DEPs when they
Yeah.
dressed it up.
I think they had a story right after that about, I think they said they still were in violation.
You know the sad thing about that whole thing is Coke. They pay their workers a really good wage down there. They work hard, but they get paid. But I
But
just
they
wish
might,
they kind of weren't.
God knows what kind of shape they'll be in
I'm
later.
just gonna say, I just hope they turn out. They might start, getting. I mean, it's.
Are they still sweeping down there, sir?
Yeah, I've seen it probably a couple weeks ago. I seen it again.
And it's their people, if I remember what you told me, right?
Well, Kaz, I don't think it's legal to do that. From what I heard, you cannot snowplow your own street.
Yeah, that might be,
You can't push snow into the street. We know that.
well, I think in an emergency, they've never really, bothered people that took their private plows and kinda
Yeah.
cleared the street, but yeah, I think technically he's probably right.
Nowadays they don't even plow. They're probably begging people to because they don't even plow the.
So I think you're probably technically right, sir. But I don't think they would bother people, like in the middle of winter, if they ran their snow plow down the middle of the street. As long as you don't plow the snow, I can check, cause I never had that question come up.
Yeah. They might.
Oh, that's true. My girlfriend lived on a street, and there was like a landscaper who plowed the street.
Yeah,
Somebody from the city or a cop seen him doing it, and they wrote him a ticket.
wow, I'll check into that.
It's snowing right now, so this.
Yeah, because they're not liable if he hits the car or something.
Yeah, that's true, but I guess that's probably a legal issue. But I have seen people, out of the generosity of heart, like run, some of your neighbors will run down the street. And if they got a plow, they'll just kind of, help all the neighbors out by just running their plow down the middle, like.
Right. I mean, it helps. And the
Yeah.
side streets, they don't have the manpower, and
Well, they don't get to them till nightfall.
I mean, they have to do the hills, the outlining, and then the main drags, 12th, 6th, and 38th, and et cetera. But sometimes they don't get to the side streets, so
Yeah, we've rented private people to do it.
that's not a bad idea. Yeah, I mean,
We've had to do it in the past. It's not common, but
you couldn't do it now. You guys are such a budget crunch, but that's not a bad idea.
I'll check on that for you, okay, sir?
Okay, but the thing is, what if somebody, besides the Coke plant trying to mask the pollutants that they're putting out by doing this,
Yeah.
what if somebody hits that street cleaner who's liable?
Now, that is an interesting question.
That's what I'm telling you. They're not allowed to do this.
And they're doing it out on a city street with their equipment, right?
Yes. For one, they're trying to mask the pollutants that they're putting out. And two, they're going to be liable if somebody hits them or they hit somebody.
Yeah,
Which
Yeah.
they shouldn't be doing it, Kaz. It's got to be put to a stop.
they shouldn't be on private property.
That's why when we have contractors, when they do city streets, they gotta take out insurance policies and they have our permission, to close off the street and to do grading and all that.
Well, that's right. Yeah, these guys, somebody better notify that Coke plant, hey, cut it out.
Yeah, they shouldn't be out there unless they got, like the downtown improvement district, they have their own set of equipment. You might even see them downtown, these little bobcats and stuff. But they have permission from the city to do that because they, that was part of their mission that they would help us out. But I'll check into it because that is an interesting question of liability. Because if we allow it to happen and we know it's been reported, I'll turn that one in then.
Yep. Yeah, you got to put an end to these guys down there. They're just bad actors, Kaz. They got to go. I don't care what kind of wages they're making down there. Who cares if you're making $22 an hour and you end up with cancer anyhow?
Yeah, that's what I'm worried about.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with your saying. I mean, health before anything, but they do pay a good wage compared
So
to
it's like,
some of them.
you don't know down the line whether,
No, all that money will go towards.
I met a guy that
property
worked
bill.
in a carbon plant.
Uh-huh.
And he developed a cancer behind his breastbone.
Oh, yeah,
They couldn't detect it, easily.
right, Right,
And it's from all that dust,
right,
that powdered metal and all that.
yeah, it's not good.
No,
I mean, all my family grew up, probably say about 1.5 miles away from that, 2 miles maybe.
we look at the guys that worked in the,
Cancer is pretty prevalent.
in
in
the
our family.
foundries, they were coughing for years.
Yeah. All right, caller, thanks for calling in. I'll double check on that. You still there?
Yeah, but hey, the coke plant, put that somewhere where you got to find an industrial park downstate somewhere where there's nobody around. It's by big population, and B, it's right by the lake.
Well, the thing is, they should put the proper,
If they did pull out of there, it'd be a whole nother GAF site.
oh yeah.
I mean, honestly though, that land down there is probably worth some cash. I mean, that's that whole, where the sewer plant is, and
Yeah, you could build
the
on
coke
it. You
plant.
couldn't put housing.
That whole area, that if we had that tax revenue coming in on that, well, that would.
I
be
think you can
pretty.
put commercial on there, but you can't put any residential.
Oh, you can't.
Well, that's why they built the
Well, that
park.
would be industrial.
Remember GAF where they put the parking ramp on top of that?
Yeah.
You can't put residential, but you can put business or commercial.
Oh,
something.
right.
You can't have anybody live on top of a landfill
Right.
like that. And that would probably be,
I can only imagine what's in the ground.
what they gotta do is they gotta play by the rules. If they did that, it's okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks for calling in, caller. I'll check that out over on Conqua.
Yeah, look into both those things. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, I rode out there. I didn't catch it.
I guess you gotta head to one way, you said.
Yeah, I was looking around. He wasn't sure of the street.
I'm gonna turn that into, engineering and parks department.
Yeah, it's snowing out there.
Yeah, pretty good too. As long as it's not going up, we're okay.
That's true. I don't get it.
Huh?
What do you mean going up?
When they said the snow is falling, right?
Yeah.
If it ever starts going up, we better take a real quick,
When the wind blows, I tell you.
well, that way, but if it starts going upward, we gotta do it good.
Yeah, as a city resident, pretty much my whole life, I don't mind snow. I don't care if it snows. It's wind chill. I hate the
That
wind
bothers
chill.
you?
Huh?
That bothers you, huh?
Oh, I don't mind when I walk outside and it's cold, it's cold. Okay, I get it. There's snow, I get it. But when that cold air starts blowing and that cold air hits you, oh man, it freezes me to the bone.
When we did the Veterans Parade, that wind was pretty good coming up.
Oh, yeah, I didn't do it this year. I'm a fair weather Veterans Parade fan. I haven't been to a parade in quite a while. My kids are all old now, and I can't remember the last parade I was at. Oh, I know, there was the Perry 200 parade, I think. I'm not popular like you. I'm not, asked to be in it.
No, I just like doing it.
Where'd you guys, the Veterans Parade, where'd that start
It
at?
goes from the stadium up to the VA hospital.
Oh, it goes uphill.
Yeah.
That's a trek.
Well, you go through three phases. The initial,
Yeah, the tired, most tired.
well, no, it goes
and
up a little bit,
absolutely tired.
then it flattens slightly.
Yeah,
And then you look at where they do the soapbox derby.
yeah,
And by that point, you're like, you're into the last third.
yeah,
And the guys that are carrying the flags, that's a rough one.
yeah.
Because that wind is like, you gotta hold it
Oh,
forward.
for sure. As a 20-year-old kid, I remember riding my bike from the Lower West Side. Out there by a Frontier, all the way up to 38th and Old French Road, and you don't realize what an uphill trek that is until you're pedaling. Even as
Well, you know what I did one time, and I kind of, I don't know if I could do it today. When I first ran for office,
yeah,
I walked up a street called Longview.
I've heard of it.
And I found out why they called it Longview.
Yeah, because it's a long walk. It's uphill, and you can see
And the houses are up on hills too,
That's the west side, Upper West Side.
No, Upper East Side.
Is it east side?
Yeah, and you know what, it was an eye opener because I'm saying, nobody wanted to come up here.
Right.
Why was I doing it? Because I thought it just sounded like the right thing to do. These people
Yeah.
have a right to,
Yeah. I remember when I did door to door on Harbor Creek, they were like, "Wow, we never see anybody out here."
No, usually people take the easy ones, but I did Longview and I said, I got up the top of the hill
Uh-huh.
and, well, it's a beautiful view up there,
We had some close elections the other day. Yours was really close. Yours was the closest ever.
I was kind of, low turnout will do that.
I mean, we had, the county controller's race was close. See, everybody, your vote does count.
Yeah, well, that's proven with the low turnout.
Yeah.
You know, like we were only getting, what, 25 to 30%?
And Summit, I mean, they didn't even know, they had, Summit, they had to, not doing recount there.
How about the one in Seneca where they actually nominated 2 people off the 6-day ballot?
Yeah. They, Mill Creek has a new supervisor, which honestly, I have a history with that gentleman, so I'm not sad about that one. And there's a lot of people that in Mill Creek that he made some poor decisions on a long time ago for political reasons, and they came back to haunt him.
The big thing is you gotta turn out, you tell people, you gotta do it.
Some people don't forget. I was kind of surprised to see that outcome. The Summit Township race, Jack, Jack.
Yeah, that
Great
was,
guy, great guy. I mean, that was like down to like 10 votes. Kind of like what Andre Horton won. But speaking of Andre Horton and that crew, Carl Anderson and a lot of the county folks are on their way to Harrisburg tomorrow.
for the,
Yes, and they're taking busloads of people down there for the community college. What are the public's thought of the community college? If anybody wants to call in, but
I think it's a divided community myself, but.
yeah, the citizens against virtually everything don't want it.
Well, I don't think, here's what I say, and I stand.
We already paid for it.
I don't think we do a good job of explaining ourselves.
I don't think you could, Kaz, listen, in this day and age, you can explain it to the T. You could have, cross-references, definitions, alternate pronunciations, you have more than a spelling bee.
Yeah.
And people will still never go for anything.
Yeah.
It's just.
It was like that first gentleman, you try to explain to him that the reason why you have parking is so that you control, we don't make a big deal of money from parking.
Yeah,
But we get none from the revenue.
yeah,
We get it from the parking tickets.
yeah.
But even that is not, if you look at our budget, that's not a game breaker.
And then they pulled that out from under you too. Hey, let's put people on the boards of these authorities, new people. Let's get some new blood in there.
But see what happened, John?
And look what happened. They pulled the rug right out from under you.
With 2.7 million that was uncollected, that can't be allowed to happen again, okay?
Yeah,
And if you make something cheap, nobody feels an obligation, right?
yeah,
So come after me, it's not gonna cost me anything anyway, right?
yeah,
But if you make it, like we're doing 180 some bucks or something,
yeah.
okay, you're gonna pay attention in 3 months. And if you don't,
Yeah, right. They still won't.
some won't, but you know what? Now that we got
You want to make an investment, Kaz? Double the amount of boots we have for the
well, we did. We
parking
actually-
authority or the police.
Well, we did. We bought some extra ones.
Put 3 people
We
on
have
boots.
we have 2 in there now sometimes.
Boot them. If you don't pay them, boot them. You don't want to do that because people need to get to work. I mean, you don't want to do that.
No, but you know
I mean,
what,
I don't
though?
mean to sound like a jerk.
But when you have a series of, the trigger mechanism for getting booted is not one ticket.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
a series of tickets that you're
A
not
series
paying.
of tickets and an amount of money.
And you're not even saying, hey, I'm sure if they called, the city would work with people. You get on a payment plan. You don't have get on a payment plan.
Well, like now, we took away all the distractions. You can use your credit card.
Yeah.
You can download money into an app. There's no reason now.
I mean, trust me, I've definitely supplied my share of parking ticket revenue to the city. I didn't like it,
But the thing is, when you get a notification, up to now, nobody came after him.
one good thing about doing the show, Kaz, I could go pay my ticket over there. You think I'm here to see you? I'm over here to pay my parking ticket.
You're still getting parking tickets.
No, not anymore. Now I got off-street parking now, which is really nice. But the whole parking situation is, I just read on, on social media some of the things that people say. I think our cities, listen, we have the business community, the residential is picking up downtown. Commercial's picking up downtown. We're creating what's the name? What's going on up there where the cyber area, what's that called again?
The innovation?
Innovation district's going on. But we need somebody to focus and try to get I know in the industrial, that's the hardest out of all of them because, we have to get some type of niche, some type of incentive program to get somebody to come here. But we need people out on the streets. People down at the Chamber of Do Nothing. I mean, they need to be out doing something. We shouldn't, anybody from the Chamber of Commerce, we shouldn't even see them in town.
No, in the state, they take care of the east side pretty good.
Yeah.
But those of us in the west,
Listen, when I was at the inauguration when Wolf came in.
yeah,
First time ever, it's probably last time I'll ever go down there. And I was talking to some people, and Kaz, a lot of their elected officials, they don't even know where Erie's at.
no, they don't.
They're like, oh, you guys are over there by Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh, right? Up there, by that lake thing, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, you guys get a lot of snow there.
Yeah.
That's all we get. That's all we hear.
Yep, and you know what? That's the problem.
I was like stunned.
We have to market ourselves because
We have to fight. This community college thing, we should have had that 20 years ago.
Fred Rush told me something one time. Made a lot of sense. Well, I heard it from Terry Madonna too. He's the political expert in the state, right?
Yeah.
They call it the east of the Susquehanna and the west of the Susquehanna.
Yeah.
And the east is where all the power is.
Yeah.
And Fred Rush will always tell you there's a trail of power in every state.
Right.
And that trail goes like from Pittsburgh to Philly.
Right.
And everybody else is along for the ride,
Yeah, right.
And you look at Erie, we're like, we're up there.
We're in Pluto. Harrisburg, they don't even know we exist. I'm telling you, I was stunned. When we met all these people and you get all these, it was the inauguration, so you had all these different organizations, that lobbyists and
Yeah.
everything like that. And, I was down there talking to people and it was like, wow. I mean, they don't even know we even exist.
Well, they don't. Some might have an idea, but we're not relevant to them.
Yeah, I mean, our guys down there try to do the best they can, but right now, but technically, Mersky and those, they've been bringing in a lot of grant money lately. I can't really complain about that. They've
No,
been
but when
bringing
you
it
see
in.
when you see what the East does to us,
One thing I don't like about what Pat Harkins, he's not for the community college. And that's kind of surprising me being from the east side where, I myself, that's how I started. I went to a 2-year program at Mercyhurst.
well, I think the problem, John, with the community college,
Yeah.
and I know you said, it wouldn't make a difference, but people are confused as to,
Those days should be over, Kat.
who's going to pay for it, okay? What are they going to teach?
We already pay for it.
What are they going to teach, okay?
Whatever, we already paid for it. People don't understand that.
Yeah, but is that guaranteed forever?
You're paying for all the other ones.
Yeah, but is there, people ask this question, is there a local portion that has to be paid?
I don't think, knowing these guys,
But-
knowing who's behind it,
Yeah.
they're gonna put so much money into it, it's gonna be, heck, they're gonna pay for it.
Well, it's like anything else though, John, people worry about, okay, we're okay today, right?
Yeah,
What about 10 years from now,
yeah.
okay? What, are we committing to
If
something?
they're not building a new structure to do it. They're not taking another structure off
see, there's-
of
but-
tax rolls.
What nobody knows, John, and this is why I get on the mayor about all the time,
Yeah.
okay? The people that should know, we should have a game plan. In other words, we should say, okay, we're planning on using one of these 3 buildings,
Yeah,
okay?
yeah.
And this is what, and
There's a reason why they can't tell you. They have a really good idea where they want it to go, but they can't do it because all the politicians around town have their own little idea of what they want, and what they don't want. And I'll tell you right now, some people in this building listen to the wrong people. And they're working together, which is good, but they're listening to the wrong people. And
Well, I
people
think-
that are like saying one thing and doing another thing, what's been going on is crazy. But it's going down to the wire now. I mean, they're all going down there. You know, the Empower Erie County Council, people from the community, they've rented buses to go down. I don't know if you know that or not.
Remember this though, success has many fathers.
Yeah.
You know what failure is, right?
No.
An orphan.
Yeah. But we already paid for it.
Yeah, John, there's no question about that, but, you know, I'll give you an example, school district, right?
Yeah.
You know what the Constitution says about funding public education,
What?
concerning mandates?
Yeah.
What's it say?
You know, you have to pay it.
No, I mean, the state is required to pay for mandated services,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
What would the average citizen think that means?
You know, the basics.
No, I mean, if I tell you as a school district,
Yeah.
okay, you have to teach this class and provide this service, whatever it is,
Right.
and we're mandating it.
No, they can't do that.
Yeah, they do every day. So now, what portion of the mandate do they
A
pay?
community college is a little different.
No, but what mandate do they? I'm going to show you a reason why people don't trust government. What do you think the mandate would entail?
Whatever the state would want.
Do you think it would be 100%, 50%?
Of what? Of what the
Of
curriculum?
the cost of doing a program you don't want to do. You don't want to do it on the local level, and you can't pay for it, but the state comes in and says, and it happens all the time in the schools, you must provide this thing, and we're telling you to do it, and we'll give you, we'll help you. What do you think their helping is?
Well, they're not money.
Well, yes, it is. By Constitution, it's 50%.
Okay.
That's what they consider full funding,
Oh, okay.
okay?
Yeah.
In reality, it's 35. So that means the local government has come up with 65%,
5%, yeah.
okay? This is what people are afraid of with anything. Yeah, they sit and they tell you, oh, it's all taken care of, right? You don't know what's gonna happen in 10, 20 years.
Even if there was a slight tax
We don't know, though,
increase,
John. I'm not, look,
it would be countywide.
I'm not saying, yeah, but you know what? I'm not saying either way, okay?
Yeah.
All I'm telling you is the process of educating, if they don't trust me as an elected official, that's a shame on them, okay? Because you know what?
How can you blame them? Not you particularly.
Yeah, but do you know what that means, John? It means you got the private sector is making decisions, and the people elect you to be their representative, not people in the private sector.
With all due respect, the people of the private, what's been going on around our community for the last 50 years, we need somebody to
Yeah, but,
with half an idea.
didn't the
to make-
private sector bring us a juice plant?
No, we brought it in.
Yeah, but there was a private guy involved.
We're the one that bent over backwards for it.
Yeah, but it was a private guy, and there was a private guy that built those houses on 13th Street, right?
But, no.
What?
Yeah, yes and no.
Well, yeah, but there was some, but
What's
you know
her
what?
name? What's her name? Gave them all the money and
Yeah,
then she
but-
ran out of here.
My point is that,
That's, you just made my point.
no, and who were
Last
the,
thing we want is
and who were the
government.
bakers responsible for that big?
No proper businessman would have thought those apartments
And who-
on 12th and Peach were $200,000 condos.
Yet you had a guy from Pittsburgh come up here, right? What was it called, Four Rivers?
They were an LLC or something like
Yeah.
that. I can't remember.
It was a
Yeah.
private guy,
Yeah.
a genius,
And he
right?
died.
A genius, right? And who?
Yeah, some genius
And
hit
who
by
were
a
the
bus,
bakers
I
that
think.
should have been thrown
Literally.
in jail with all those loan things?
What's that?
A few years back, the bankers, right?
Yeah.
The educated men we trusted, right?
Yeah.
I just think, John, it's a good idea, the community college. What needed to be done is to come out with here's what we're gonna teach. Okay,
Yeah.
we're not gonna be,
You can't do that unless you know, you can't, the business community, you can't create you can't create an agenda or a curriculum without actually knowing you have a college. Now, the business community,
I disagree with you. You can have an idea what you're gonna do.
well, yeah, you have the general areas of what you want. You know, you need this type of industrial, need this type of training, you need that. But until you actually know you're getting it, then you bring people together and you say, okay, this is exactly what we need. I have friends that have run businesses, they tell me, I can't find anybody to do the basics. Who's gonna move here if you can't find somebody to do the basics?
Look at the Civic Center. They told us
And
it's
then-
gonna make, it's gonna make money, it's gonna
Then they promote
pay for itself. What happens? We're still paying for it.
the NPRC. That is the biggest joke I have ever heard of in my life.
What's that?
The NPRC.
Yeah.
It's like a college where you come in. They have like 12 people in the state that go to this thing. They've been promoting it because the community wants the community college. So this clown outfit, which is a state, actually it's a Republican outfit. You want to talk about shady, and these Republicans, this NPRC isn't even credited by the State Department of Education.
Hang on, I got a phone call. Very interesting one.
From the name I saw.
Oh, you can talk real quick.
Okay. Go ahead, call. I should answer first. Go ahead, caller.
Hey, how you doing?
Pretty good, pretty good.
First part of your show. You know the only way the city's going to dig out of this mess
How's that? Give us an example, an idea.
of the nonprofit. You got places, I'm going to use Mercier's College, for example. They got about 15 passenger vans up in their lot. They got school buses. They just put up a $25 million building, dormitory. They dumped about $5 million into their football field. And what do they give us? Nothing.
Right.
Get the streets plowed, they get the fire, they get the police.
Yeah.
These nonprofits for money to help kick into the city finances, the city's going to dry up.
Well, sometimes what they do is behind the scenes. They might buy a couple police cars for us, or what they do is they donate their money into other things that go on into the city. So it's not like they do absolutely nothing to help us, but they do we need some type of infusion of cash into our general revenue.
Who doesn't help
stream.
us?
The nonprofits like Mercyhurst and Gannon.
No, the only nonprofits that absolutely give us any sizable contribution are Hammond and Vincent. They give us 50%. We have some other pilots. I'll get a hold of the list, and I'll bring it here to the meeting and tell you who has pilot agreements. And then we get some voluntary contributions. We just had one from the Sisters of Mercy up there behind the college.
Mercyhurst?
Yeah, they gave us $15,000 to be used equally amongst police, fire, and public works.
No, he's Kaz. I was just telling him, I understand like 42% of the property in the city of Erie is nonprofit.
Well, it's a complicated formula because some of it actually includes us and includes the county too.
That's why we need to raise
So-
our taxes of, is it earned income tax? For people, you guys just talked about it, for people
Yeah,
that
but-
reside outside the city.
But that tax can only go to pension by law. We can't put that in the general budget.
Well, take that tax, put it towards the pension, and then, take
By law,
that,
it has to go.
yeah, good, okay, fine. Put that towards that, and take the money the other money that you would put towards the pension, towards the budget, the other budget. Can you move money around like that? You should be able to.
Well, we have what they call, it's more complicated than that. There's an MMO which has to be met. That's a separate budget item.
Okay,
Are you there, sir? Oh, he must have hung up.
yeah,
I wish he would have stayed on a little bit.
yeah, call back, sir.
The MMO has to be taken care of. And then the MMO gets reduced by, we get a check from the Commonwealth, as all pension plans do, that are moderately distressed. That comes out to, I'm gonna say 3 to 5 million. No, more than that. Then we generate money off the income tax. That kind of brings it down. But at the end of the day, we still have we have a contribution we have to make every year.
Right.
So there's no money to take out of there and transfer around.
Our use that money to
The real problem.
our
John,
contribution.
the real problem is, John, the income tax goes where you live, the 1%. That's gotta change. Too many tax exempts,
Yeah.
way too many.
That's a recipe for disaster.
Well, sure it is, but, you know, except for, like I said, except for the two hospitals that voluntarily pay 50, we have a couple other ones, but nobody as sizable as those two.
The busiest road in the morning and the afternoon is the Bayfront Highway and 12th Street heading out. Heading in, and then in the afternoon, heading out.
Well, yeah, you know what's happening.
It's a recipe for, that's why these apartments down here bring in revenue, what was it, $1.1 million more or something like that a year? I mean,
I was hoping that guy would call back, but
Yeah,
here, I'll
he must
tell
have
you.
been busy.
For every guy or every woman that works in the city, or for the city, or for the school district, or even any private businesses, right? Okay, we generate a lot of high-paying jobs in the city. Any question about that?
No.
I mean, I always ask the question, would you rather have 1% of the Mill Creek Mall,
Yeah, right.
or would you rather 1% of,
You know, people gotta.
take your pick, your hospital, your insurance?
People that live outside of the city gotta realize, like right now, it's snowing.
Yeah,
Somebody's gotta pay for that salt.
but they don't.
No, they don't care. Somebody's gotta pay to plow.
Here's the point, that if you come here and you get a nice paycheck,
Yeah,
especially government, I can't do much about private sector, but school district, city hall, county, all that, right?
yeah.
They come here and they get a nice paycheck. Well, they go home, we don't get their real estate tax, that's for sure. That's a no-brainer.
Right.
What people don't understand is the 1%, not the little bit we charge above.
Right,
The basic 1% gets split with your local school district, but it goes where you live.
right.
So we lose that too.
I mean,
Okay, then I would be willing to bet they don't buy their groceries in the city of Erie,
right. You know,
right? Would you be right?
for sure.
So we get nothing out of that.
There's no way you could buy your groceries in Erie and then drive to Fairview because your stuff would melt.
Right, so we get nothing out of that deal? What I'd like to see, boy, this is controversial, how about if you live and work in the city of Erie, okay, you pay X amount for your benefits, you know, from the municipal government, but if you live outside the city, you pay a little bit more.
What if we get universal health care? How much of the city's budget is
Taken care of?
earmarked towards health care?
Quite a bit.
You got that right. But boy, that scares me. 2020 is gonna be oh my God.
Remember, somebody's gotta pay for everything, that's the problem.
We're all gonna, you know, if that comes through, our income tax, our checks are gonna be nothing, cause they have to pay for it somehow.
Here's what I'd like to see, you and I pay, whether you have the city's health plan or pension, you pay into it, correct?
Yeah,
Okay, because you are a taxpayer.
yeah,
How about if you work for the city, okay, you pay X amount, but if you live outside the city, you pay a little bit more.
yeah,
Because in effect, John, if you work for the city, you'd be paying what you pay as a taxpayer, and you'd also be paying what you do as an employee, right?
correct.
So,
And then you pay through your tax, and then.
so
you-
how about, we charge the people who live outside the city?
It's only fair.
But you can't get Harrisburg to change that rule.
It's only fair that people that.
But Harrisburg won't
People,
change
you
it.
know, you need museums, you need the civic center, you need baseball stadiums, you need these things, that the quality of life. People want those, but they don't, you know, you can't put that out in Fairview.
No, I guess we need a commuter tax that isn't assessed to the people that live
You
here.
need a community
You know, right,
tax. That, you can't, I'd love to put the Erie City Mission, all the nonprofits out in Mill Creek, or let's put it out in Fairview.
Yeah.
And see how their tax rate flies through the roof
I did a little, you ever take a ride along East 38th?
all the time.
Okay, now I'm not saying I want to see this,
Okay,
okay?
yeah,
But I'll start at State Street,
yeah,
okay? Because that's my side of town.
yeah,
It could take a ride anywhere, okay?
right,
First you got, and I'm not saying they're not needed or they are needed,
right.
but would you consider that prime real estate,
Where?
East 38th Street?
I wouldn't say prime, but yeah, it's,
I mean, marketable, right?
yeah. Well, you could do a lot of things.
I mean, the neighbors around there.
Yeah.
So think about, you got Jefferson School and that big plot of land behind it,
Right,
right?
right.
A big plot of land,
Oh, where the field is.
right?
You have the VA,
VA and the Reserve Center,
yeah, St.
okay,
Luke's,
St. Luke's, and then you got
Mercyhurst.
Mercyhurst. Then you go out, you got Joanna Cano, right?
McConnell, yeah.
And then, you just think about it.
That's just 38th Street.
If you could develop them into housing,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Cass, our number, right here, we have him on our Bayfront property.
Yeah,
I mean, that's where the hotel, the front of, in normal big cities, where the where the hotel is, where they
Yeah.
put all the hotels and the parking lots, that's all public space areas for different things.
well, look how upset Mill Creek
And
got.
all that stuff that's on that part of the bayfront
Yeah.
should be up on top of the hill.
No doubt about it. Look how much Mill Creek got upset with Lecon. When he put that, residential component in there. They were all mad, right?
Yeah,
Because they realized if that was commercial, correct?
right. Yeah,
And they're getting mad about that, and look what we got to deal with.
yeah.
I'm not saying it's bad, but, you know, they got to help us.
No, honestly, dude, lucky I'm not I'd max it out.
We can't even charge a room tax because
I
we're not
would
permitted.
I would max that out so bad.
What's that?
The commuter tax.
Well, the trouble is we can't do it right now.
I know, why? State law?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a book. I'll give you the book.
Get our lawyer on that one.
The book tells you what you can charge, what you can't.
Uh-huh.
It's like, that 1% income tax.
I mean, it's
We
not
go above it,
fair.
but we have to get permission to do that from the Commonwealth.
Everybody wants to move out of the city. Nobody wants, you heard the one caller, nobody wants to live in the city anymore.
No.
I mean, he's right, because of the problems that come along with the city. And then we start actually, not even the government, private businesses start putting money into the downtown to where people want to live in the city. And the next caller cried and complained about that.
Yeah, and it's their money.
It's their, and they're paying taxes. I gotta go.
Are you okay?
I'm stressed now. Stressed,
Once again, I want to wish all my fellow veterans
for sure.
a great Veterans Day.
Yes, we appreciate all that you did for us. You and your families that, had to deal with all that stuff. And, Kaz is very big into the veterans group, so I appreciate what you do too, Kaz.
Well, I just think, they're some of the greatest women and men in the world.
Hey, without them, we wouldn't be on this talk show talking about the KKK and free speech, and everything we talk about is due to them. So with that note, we might as well check on out of here, Mike. But
See you
thanks,
next
veterans.
week?
Yeah, probably.
Let me turn off the volume there. They're tagging cars up there.
You have been watching Taxpayers Hotline, recorded live from the fabulous city of Erie, Pennsylvania.